The friends were out of time. One friend remained. 30 seconds before nappies. There was a bully on the 3rd floor. They spotted a bully on the 1st floor. Only 45 seconds left to play. The baddies knew where you were. You had been seen by the meanies. Who was that they saw? Why, only Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear down, they cried. Don't hurt him. Mr. Bear was almost free. Mr. Bear had stayed hidden. The meanies had spotted Mr. Bear, and they wanted him. 15 seconds left to play. There, a meanie, 2nd floor. There was a meanie on the 2nd floor. A 3rd floor bully was there. Floor 3 had a bully. A meanie! There were no more bullies to hurt Mr. Bear. One of the bullies. The adventure was in danger. The meanies had sent in a spy. Doors open in 5. 60 seconds left for playsies. One last bully remained. Their mission was in peril. A meanie! 10 seconds before you can play. The day was done. Mr. Bear was in the hands of the meanies. They'd captured Mr. Bear. A 2nd floor bully was there. Their mission was in peril. Meanie spotted. 10 seconds before you can play. There was a bully left. The meanies had also gotten tired of waiting. A 2nd floor meanie was there. There, a meanie on the 1st floor. Hooray! The meanies had lost. It was time to release the spies. Luckily, they shoved Mr. Bear's stuffing back in, and down went Mr. Bear. The end. Now it was time to rescue Mr. Bear. A meanie was outside. What was this? The meanies no longer had Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear had gone into permanent hibernation. A meanie spy had spotted Mr. Bear. The meanies had Mr. Bear in their clutches. Only 45 seconds left to play. There, a bully, 2nd floor. Nap time in 30 seconds. It's just 5 more seconds. It was time to act. Watch out for the meanies. The mission was in trouble. There, a meanie. There, a bully, 2nd floor. There was a meanie on the 2nd floor. They had found a bully on the 1st floor. They had found a meanie on the 1st floor. The meanies had been beaten. 10 seconds, children. 15 seconds left. Get ready. It was now or never. They'd spotted you. Go back and help Mr. Bear. But before they could save Mr. Bear, they needed to find him. The heroes cheered, for they knew where to find Mr. Bear. Now run, Mr. Bear, with your stubby little legs. Mr. Bear was really good at hide and seek. The meanies had spotted Mr. Bear. It was time up on the tick-tock. Was that a bully on the 3rd floor? Their secret mission was in trouble. Time was up. 10 seconds to playtime. One of the bullies. Floor 3 had a meanie. The big old meanies had been vanquished. Only one last friend was left standing. Mr. Bear was free to live out his days of self-stuffing. But how would they storm the airplane? Nap time in 15 seconds. They spotted a bully on the 1st floor. They spotted a meanie on the 1st floor. The bullies were beaten. The day was won. They had found a meanie on the 1st floor. Tick-tock, time was up. The mission was in trouble. It was time up on the tick-tock. Those rascals had hurt Mr. Bear. The little operators had finally saved Mr. Bear, with only a minimal amount of restitching. But where was Mr. Bear hiding? That's not where you shove the stuffing back in, you meanies. Now they knew where Mr. Bear was, and they were coming for him. They'd reached the end of their time. 15 seconds left. There, a meanie on the 1st floor. There was a bully on the 1st floor. There was a bully on the 3rd floor. You found a meanie. That was a meanie. 60 seconds left for playtime. Playtime in 10 seconds. The meanies were about to come in. It was time to jump into adventure. 5 seconds, children. There, a meanie. 3rd floor. 10 seconds before you can play. There was a meanie on the third floor. 60 seconds left for playtime. While the bullies prepared, the Rainbow Pals sent out their spies. Run back! The bullies saw you! But the rascals got Mr. Bear again. With a kiss and a hug, Mr. Bear was right as rain. Without a moment to lose, they found Mr. Bear. Tick-tock, time was up. Was that a bully on the second floor? Was that a meanie on the third floor? Playtime, 10 seconds. There, a bully. Time was up. A meanie was still standing. Don't hurt your own friend. Mr. Bear had been accidentally hurt by his friends. Sadly, Mr. Bear would later die of stitching-related injuries. But our heroes lost Mr. Bear and needed to catch him all over again. Here came the baddies. The meanies knew where you were. A bully was nearby. It was time to get ready. It was time to unleash all their tricks. Playtime's over in 45 seconds. There was one meanie left. There was a meanie. Meanie spotted. The bullies were about to arrive. Just 10 seconds left. 30 seconds before nappies. 30 seconds left in playtime. A third floor meanie was there. There was a meanie on the first floor. Was that a bully on the first floor? The meanies were going to attack, now that they knew where Mr. Bear was hiding. Sorry for unstuffing you, Mr. Bear, cried the friends. The heroes had found Mr. Bear, but still had to reach safety. The meanies saw you. Go back. There was a meanie on the first floor. There, a bully on the first floor. Was that a meanie on the second floor? 5 seconds left. 5 more seconds. You found a meanie. You found a bully. The bullies were also ready for adventure. The meanies were ready to fight. It was time to protect their castle. There, a bully, third floor. Well, who'd known there was so much stuffing inside poor Mr. Bear? The meanies were beaten. The day was won. Was that a meanie on the first floor? It was nap time for Mr. Bear. Nap time forever. It was time to protect the room to keep Mr. Bear safe. What luck! They hadn't found Mr. Bear. There he was, Mr. Bear. Hooray! They got Mr. Bear. But now to escape. Quick, they shouted. To safety! Thankfully, Mr. Bear was back on his feet. But Mr. Bear escaped. Hurry back. They know you're there. The meanies had spotted you. No good will come of staying outside. Don't stay there. Get back inside. The meanies had spotted you. You had been seen by the baddies. 10 seconds to playtime. You have 10 seconds, children. Was that a bully on the third floor? Floor 2 had a bully. There, a meanie. Second floor. The bullies had knocked some of Mr. Bear's stuffing loose. They had found a bully on the first floor. Playtime's over in 45 seconds. Oh no! Mr. Bear had been taken! But where to hide Mr. Bear? Hurt by his own friends, Mr. Bear was in a pickle. The meanies had lost Mr. Bear. It was time to save Mr. Bear. But where to start looking?
Let's save Mr. Bear!
Blackbeard declared. But where to find him? Get back to the fun. Go back and save Mr. Bear. The meanies had beaten the Rainbow Pals. Nap time in 1 minute. Was that a meanie on the first floor? Was that a bully on the first floor? Floor 3 had a bully. A third floor meanie was there. 5 seconds before playtime. Watch out for little spies.
We need to find Mr. Bear, that rascal!
They said. The friends were down to 1 buddy. Nap time in 15 seconds. 60 seconds left for playsies. There was a bully on the first floor. That was a meanie. Their secret mission was in trouble. The adventure was in danger. 10 seconds before you can play. 5 seconds, children. You have 10 seconds, children. They'd reached the end of their time. There, a meanie. Third floor. There was a bully on the second floor. Floor 2 had a bully. There, a bully on the first floor. They tore some of Mr. Bear's stitches.
There's Mr. Bear.
Proclaimed the meanies.
Protect Mr. Bear.
Castle said.
Make the room stronger.
They had to find a safe place for Mr. Bear. They got Mr. Bear those adorable scamps.
Watch the roughhousing,
cried Mr. Bear. They knew where Mr. Bear was. Now, to save him. Mr. Bear was right again, but our heroes dropped Mr. Bear. Oh, no! The meanies are sure to see you out here. Just one friend remained. Aw, but the friends had failed. There was a bully on the second floor. Floor 2 had a meanie. 5 seconds left, children. Big Meanie spotted. 30 seconds left in playtime. 10 seconds, children. Floor 3 had a meanie. A friend remained standing. The meanies were ready to sneak in. 45 seconds left before nap time. Out of time, said the clock. They'd caught Mr. Bear. The meanies had sent out a spy who saw Mr. Bear. But oh no, they spotted Mr. Bear. Those meanies were shoving his stuffing back in. It was time to hide Mr. Bear. They'd almost escaped with Mr. Bear. Oh, Mr. Bear died. I wasn't expecting that. Mr. Bear was back to normal. More or less. Don't leave, Mr. Bear. But Mr. Bear was taken again. The big meanies hurt Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear still needs your help. They know where you are. The baddies had spotted you. Playtime, 10 seconds. The friends were beaten. How sad. 45 seconds left before nap time. They spotted a meanie on the first floor. Doors open in 5. They'd practiced, and now they were ready. It was time to protect themselves. Watch out for the bullies. 5 seconds before playtime. 5 seconds left. But one of the friends were still left. And just like that, the Rainbow Pals were all, napping. The friends were stopped by those mean meanies. The little rainbow friends had failed, likely disappointing their parents. Out of time, said the clock. There, a meanie. There, a bully. Was that a meanie on the second floor? A second floor meanie was there. That was no way to treat Mr. Bear. They were about to escape with Mr. Bear. Down went Mr. Bear, hurt by their roughhousing. Playtime in 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds left. There, a bully, third floor. Was that a meanie on the third floor? Was that a bully on the second floor? A second floor bully was there. Only one meanie left standing. Nap time in 30 seconds. There was a meanie. 5 seconds left, children. The bullies had sent in a spy. They'd knocked out some of Mr. Bear's stuffing. The meanies managed to stitch Mr. Bear up again. They had to batten down the hatches to keep Mr. Bear safe. With a hug and a kiss, Mr. Bear was right as rain. Somehow, Mr. Bear had escaped the meanies. But they needed to start somewhere. There he was, Mr. Bear, ready for saving. Where, oh where, was Mr. Bear? The heroes couldn't wait any longer.
Quick, they shouted. Get Mr. Bear to safety.
Hooray! Mr. Bear was finally safe. The meanies had broken inside. The bullies had broken in. They saw you, so go back. Where are you going? The fun is back there. A bully had gotten outside. It's just 5 more seconds. The adventure was in trouble. Sadly, Mr. Bear would later die of stitching-related injuries. But our heroes lost Mr. Bear and needed to catch him all over again. Here came the baddies. The meanies knew where you were. A bully was nearby. It was time to get ready. It was time to unleash all their tricks. Playtime's over in 45 seconds. There was one meanie left. There was a meanie. There, a bully. Time was up. A meanie was still standing. Playtime, 10 seconds. Was that a meanie on the third floor? Was that a bully on the second floor? Tick, tock, time was up. Without a moment to lose, they found Mr. Bear. With a kiss and a hug, Mr. Bear was right as rain. But the rascals got Mr. Bear again. Run back! The bullies saw you! 10 seconds before you can play. While the bullies prepared, the Rainbow Pals sent out their spies. 60 seconds left for playtime. There was a meanie on the 3rd floor. There, a meanie! 3rd floor. 5 seconds, children. It was time to jump into adventure. The meanies were about to come in. Playtime in 10 seconds. 60 seconds left for playtime. That was a meanie. You found a meanie. There was a bully on the 3rd floor. There was a bully on the 1st floor. There, a meanie on the 1st floor. 15 seconds left. They'd reached the end of their time. Now they knew where Mr. Bear was, and they were coming for him. That's not where you shove the stuffing back in, you meanies. But where was Mr. Bear hiding? The little operators had finally saved Mr. Bear, with only a minimal amount of restitching. Those rascals had hurt Mr. Bear. The bullies had knocked some of Mr. Bear's stuffing loose. The bullies had spotted you. 15 seconds left to play. A 3rd floor bully was there. There was still a meanie running around. Just 5 more seconds. The time for planning was over. The time to act was now. Now was the time to defend Mr. Bear. The bullies were ready to play mean. The adventure was in trouble. Big Meanie spotted. You found a bully. Just 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. There was a meanie on the 3rd floor. Floor 2 had a meanie. They got Mr. Bear. What a sad ending. They knew where Mr. Bear was hidden. With a kiss, Mr. Bear was right again. But where to start? From a distance, they saw him, Mr. Bear. Thankfully, they found Mr. Bear.